The Unova region is unlike any other place in the Pokémon world. Inspired by the bustling landscapes and city skylines of New York, it feels alive with bridges, seasons, and stories that stay with you long after your adventure ends. Whether it's walking across the Sky Arrow Bridge into Castilia's towering skyline, exploring the endless sands of Route 4, or hearing the quiet bells of Celestial Tower, Unova has a rhythm that feels both new and familiar. This region brought with it bold ideas. For the first time, trainers experienced a Pokédex filled entirely with new Pokémon, a complete fresh start. Battles introduced rotation formats and triple teams. The environment shifted with the changing seasons, and storylines dared to ask deeper questions about the bond between humans and Pokémon. At the heart of it all were characters like In, who saw the world differently, and Getsis, who twisted noble ideas into schemes of power. As you listen, you'll drift through 200 calming facts about Unova, from the smallest details hidden in quiet towns to the legendary battles that defined a generation. Each fact is a gentle step, guiding you deeper into the region's history and atmosphere, like walking slowly along a familiar path at dusk. If you enjoy this journey, consider subscribing to the channel. It helps me keep creating relaxing content like this, so we can continue exploring every region of the Pokémon world together, one calm story at a time. So take a breath, let go of the day, and allow your imagination to wander. Together, we'll explore Unova's secrets and memories, letting its bridges, forests, and songs carry us softly into rest. Unova debuted in Pokémon Black and White for the Nintendo DS, arriving in Japan in 2010 and reaching the rest of the world in 2011. It marked a fresh beginning for the series, embracing new hardware, bold storytelling, and an atmosphere that felt both modern and deeply connected to the Pokémon journey. Unova became the first main region inspired by the United States, drawing heavily from the energy of New York City. Its mix of busy streets, sweeping bridges, and quiet rural paths reflected the contrasts of city and countryside, making exploration feel like a blend of adventure and familiarity. The region began its routes again at number 1, breaking away from the long-running sequence that stretched across earlier generations. By starting fresh, players were reminded that Unova was not just another chapter, but a true reinvention of what a Pokémon adventure could feel like. For the first time, seasons became part of the journey. Trees changed color, snow fell across paths, and different Pokémon appeared depending on the time of year. This living system encouraged players to return again and again, finding new life in familiar routes with every change of season. Unova also introduced triple battles and rotation battles, expanding combat into new formations. These battles weren't just about strength, they tested strategy, timing, and positioning. It was another way the games reminded players that Pokémon was about adaptation as much as power. Sky Arrow Bridge stood as one of the most striking landmarks, echoing the design of New York's Brooklyn Bridge. Its sweeping perspective and dramatic camera angles gave a sense of scale unlike anything before, welcoming trainers into the heart of Unova with grandeur and awe. Castelia City carried that feeling forward. With its sprawling skyscrapers, busy streets, and countless alleyways, it perfectly mirrored Manhattan's sense of density and discovery. Exploring every corner felt like stepping into a living city, alive with art, business, and hidden stories waiting to be uncovered. Opelucid City reflected the theme of change, appearing differently depending on which version of the game was played. In Pokemon Black, it gleamed with futuristic architecture. In Pokemon White, it held to a traditional historic design. Two visions, side by side, offered a reflection of time itself. To emphasize the fresh start, Unova's regional Pokédex included only new Pokémon during the main story. Without familiar faces, every encounter felt surprising and new, reminding players of the same sense of wonder they first felt when Pokémon began years earlier. At the center of the journey were Snivy, Tepig, and Oshawott, the trio of starters that embodied Generation Vui's bold design philosophy. Each one carried a distinct personality, reflecting elegance, courage, or playfulness, and together they became the first companions in Unova's unforgettable adventure. Professor Juniper marked a milestone as the very first female professor in the main series. Her research focused on the origins of Pokemon, tying together themes of history and discovery. She guided players with warmth, representing a shift in the franchise's tradition, while highlighting the evolving diversity of characters across Pokemon's growing world. Charon and Bianca served as dual rivals, each reflecting different paths of growth. Charon chased strength and competitiveness, while Bianca sought confidence and purpose. Their contrasting arcs gave players a chance to reflect on how people grow differently, adding emotional depth and companionship to Unova's journey. Team Plasma's philosophy questioned whether humans should own Pokemon at all. Their rhetoric created moral tension, asking players to think about the bonds they formed on their adventure. While their ideals sounded noble at first, the story revealed deeper layers of manipulation beneath the surface. N's castle dramatically erupted from the Pokemon League late in the story, transforming the battlefield into a new arena. This twist shocked players, breaking tradition while emphasizing the scale of N's mission. The event blended storytelling and spectacle, a moment that still stands as one of the most memorable climaxes in Pokemon. N's teams were always raised from the areas he traveled through, reflecting his philosophy of befriending the Pokemon he met. This detail made each of his battles feel personal, as though his companions had truly joined him naturally, rather than being captured and trained in the traditional sense. Behind the curtain, Ghetsis twisted Team Plasma's ideals. He used their vision of Pokemon liberation as nothing more than a smokescreen, manipulating both N and the organization to seize power for himself. His cruelty and selfishness made him one of the darkest villains in Pokemon history. The Sea-Gear expanded connectivity on the Nintendo DS, allowing players to link quickly with friends nearby or access online features. Its glowing interface added a futuristic layer to the adventure, blending the idea of technology and Pokemon bonds seamlessly into daily play. The Intralink feature let friends step directly into each other's worlds. With this, trainers could warp across regions, share missions, and provide bonuses. It blurred the line between solo and multiplayer, making the Unova journey feel more connected and alive than ever before. Rustling grass was introduced as a special mechanic, signaling rare encounters. Most notably, Audino could be found there, serving as an excellent source of experience points. This gave players an alternative to endless grinding, rewarding exploration with useful opportunities for growth. In patches of dark grass, wild double battles could occur spontaneously. This new twist added variety to exploring routes, as trainers had to adapt their strategies to fight multiple wild Pokémon at once. It reinforced Unova's sense of freshness, making even routine encounters feel dynamic and unpredictable. Rippling water, dust clouds, and overhead shadows were introduced as ambient encounter cues in Unova. These subtle touches brought the world to life, letting players spot rare Pokémon or items in natural ways. It made exploring rivers, caves, and skies feel more dynamic, encouraging a slower, more observant pace through the region. Driftvale Drawbridge became memorable not just for its scale, but also for its surprises. As players crossed, random wings would drop onto the road, offering training items. At times, Ducklet could swoop in as a mid-crossing encounter, blending utility and atmosphere into a bridge that felt alive with activity. Nimbasa City was bursting with energy, combining its amusement park rides, the Pokémon Musical Hall, and the twin stadiums where daily trainer rematches awaited. This city embodied entertainment in all its forms, creating a lively hub of music, sport, and playful distractions set against the backdrop of Unova's busy rhythm. Instead of Hoenn's Pokémon contests, Unova introduced the Pokémon Musical. Here, trainers dressed up their Pokémon with accessories and performed in stage shows. While simpler than earlier contests, the musical leaned into charm and light-hearted fun, showcasing another side of companionship between trainers and their partners. Anvil Town offered a quiet retreat compared to Unova's bustling cities. Known for its love of trains, it hosted the train car trading events on weekends, where collectors could find rare pieces. This gave players a unique diversion, blending hobbies, community, and a gentle pace of discovery into one charming side location. Route gatehouses in Unova were more than just transition points. Some doubled as miniature museums, displaying art, fossils, or cultural information. Others offered updates on seasonal changes, like weather patterns or migrating Pokémon. These small touches enriched the world, making each gateway feel purposeful and thoughtfully designed. Liberty Garden served as the setting for Victini's event, introducing players to Unova's mythical Pokémon. Accessible only by special ticket, this secluded island became a place of wonder. Its lighthouse and quiet scenery created a sense of mythic importance, as if the location itself held history waiting to be uncovered. Castelia City's back alleys hid unexpected surprises. Optional trainers, strange NPCs, and cryptic dialogue created an air of mystery in a city already full of life. For players willing to explore beyond the main streets, these hidden corners offered small but memorable moments of discovery and curiosity. The Royal Unova cruise ship sailed each evening, offering trainers timed battles as the ship glided past Castelia's skyline. This moving stage gave players a unique combination of challenge and scenery, blending excitement with a touch of elegance. Watching the city lights drift by while battling felt quietly magical. Deep within the desert resort's ruins, players could discover Volcarona, a rare and powerful bug and fire-type Pokémon. This encounter, tucked away in the postgame, rewarded exploration with one of Unova's most striking creatures. The ruin's sandy chambers gave Volcarona a mythic presence, as though it were a guardian of forgotten history. Black City and White Forest stood as striking version-exclusive differences in Unova. Black City emphasized an urban economy of trainers and shops, while White Forest offered tranquil, wild encounters. Together, they reflected two sides of the same region, modern industry and untouched nature, making each version feel like a unique perspective on the world. Within Black City, players could face rotating teams of high-level trainers and visit shops that shifted with progress. This constant change made the city feel alive, emphasizing growth and challenge. Its design offered a bustling counterpart to White Forest's quieter encounters, ensuring each game held its own style of endgame activity. White Forest, by contrast, focused on preserving natural spaces. Here, wild Pokémon appeared that were otherwise rare in Univas, making the area both a resource for collectors and a peaceful retreat. Its slower pace provided a balance to Black City's intensity, emphasizing harmony and exploration over constant battling. Pinwheel Forest was cleverly split into exterior and interior sections, each with distinct encounter pools. This design choice expanded variety while encouraging players to explore thoroughly. The two halves created a sense of transition, as though the forest itself had layers of mystery to uncover within its shaded paths and lively clearings. Nakreen City's Central Museum served not only as a hub for cultural exhibits, but also as Lenora's gym. This blending of history and competition gave the gym a unique character, where battles took place surrounded by fossils, books, and relics of the past. It reinforced Unova's theme of connection between story and setting. Berg's gym in Castalia doubled as a living art installation. Trainers navigated honey walls, paint-smeared corridors, and colorful displays while battling bug types. The gym's design reflected Berg's passion as an artist, blurring the line between battling and creativity, creating an experience that was as whimsical as it was challenging. Alesa's Nimbasa gym felt like a fashion show brought to life. Trainers walked illuminated runways under spotlights, while Alesa herself commanded the stage with poise and style. The setting mirrored her identity as a model, merging entertainment, glamour, and battle into one unforgettable spectacle. Clay's Driftvale gym emphasized the mining theme of his hometown. Elevators carried trainers deep into clay seams, layering pathways in earthy tones. This descent into the underground reinforced Clay's rugged persona and tied his gym's design closely to the labor and industry of Driftvale's working community. Skyla's Mistralton gym introduced one of the most playful mechanics in Pokémon gyms, cannons that launched trainers across platforms. Each blast of air propelled players further along, reflecting Skyla's identity as a pilot. The whimsical design blended her theme of flight with a fun, dynamic sense of motion. Bryson's Iciris gym presented players with slippery ice puzzles. Trainers slid across frosty floors, tilting platforms into place to open new paths. The design captured the frozen aesthetic of Iciris, while Bryson himself, a retired movie star turned gym leader, added dramatic flair to the otherwise tranquil winter setting. In Opelucid City, the gym leader changes depending on the version you play. In Pokémon Black, Drayden commands dragons with wisdom and a stern presence. In Pokémon White, Iris takes the role, bringing youthful energy and optimism. Two different approaches, yet both paths lead to the same dragon badge, showing Unova's balance of tradition and growth. Marlin, the final gym leader, in Black 2 and White 2, greets challengers in Humalau City with a relaxed surfer charm. His water-type team flows with his easygoing personality, embodying the coastal lifestyle of his home. Marlin's laid-back attitude hides a capable trainer, offering players both warmth and a strong final challenge before the league. Unova's Pokémon League introduced a new twist. Players could choose the order of the Elite Four battles. This freedom reshaped the pacing, allowing challengers to face opponents in whichever order they preferred. The choice created a sense of control while highlighting the uniqueness of each Elite Four chamber, turning the league into a more personal journey. Grimsley's Dark-type chamber captured his gambler persona. Styled with poker tables, cards, and sleek black tones, it reflected his love of risk and games of chance. His calm, almost playful demeanor hit a sharp strategic edge, making him both a stylish and formidable opponent in the halls of the league. Chantal, the ghost-type member of the Elite Four, stood out for her creativity. A novelist, she wrote stories about the trainers and Pokémon she encountered, blending battles with imagination. Her room's eerie design complemented her love for the supernatural, turning each match into something that felt like both a fight and a tale unfolding. Marshall's fighting chamber emphasized movement and physical power. With shifting platforms and bold spotlight effects, his stage resembled an arena for martial arts. His disciplined philosophy of strength and focus resonated through his team, making him a fitting representative of the fighting type and a steady balance within the Elite Four. Caitlin's presence in the Elite Four tied Unova back to earlier generations. Returning from the Sinnoh battle frontier, she had grown into a psychic master. Calm and elegant, her chamber reflected serenity, with plush decor contrasting the intensity of her battles. Her journey symbolized personal growth, echoing the themes of Unova itself. The Pokémon League lobby in Unova shifted subtly with the seasons, mirroring the region's living calendar. Whether blanketed in snow or brightened by summer tones, these small changes gave the league a natural rhythm, grounding even the highest stage of competition within the cycles of the world outside. After completing the main story, Alder reappeared in Black 2 and White 2 for a heartfelt rematch in Flossacy Town. As a mentor-like figure, his role softened from champion to teacher, emphasizing the importance of guidance, reflection, and the bonds formed through battle beyond the title of champion. The Pokémon World Tournament in Black 2 and White 2 celebrated the series' history by reviving past gym leaders and champions. Trainers from across generations gathered for battles, uniting nostalgia with challenge. This feature honored Pokémon's legacy while offering players a dream come true, facing iconic leaders all in one place. Hidden grottos were introduced in Black 2 and White 2, appearing as small, static overworld spots tucked into trees and cliffs. Inside, players could find items or Pokémon with rare hidden abilities. These peaceful pockets rewarded careful observation, offering surprises that felt like secret treasures waiting quietly along Unova's routes. Join Avenue gave players the chance to build a bustling shopping street. By recruiting NPCs, you could open and expand shops, turning it into a personalized mall. Each avenue looked different depending on choices, making it one of the most interactive features in Pokémon at the time, blending community and creativity into your journey. Black 2 and White 2 introduced the medal system, Pokemon's version of achievement badges. Medals rewarded everything from battle accomplishments to quirky tasks like unusual interactions or exploration. This feature added a layer of gentle recognition, celebrating not only progress, but also the smaller, playful moments that made Unova's adventure unique. Memory Link allowed Black 2 and White 2 to connect with the original Black and White. Through this feature, players unlocked flashbacks, side stories, and even events showing the fates of N's released Pokémon. It created continuity between the games, weaving emotional threads that honored the past while enriching the sequel's narrative. The habitat list in Black 2 and White 2 made completing the Pokédex more approachable. By organizing encounters area by area, it showed players exactly which Pokémon could be found in each location. This feature helped completionists feel supported, turning a daunting task into a more peaceful, rewarding checklist. The key system introduced in Black 2 and White 2 unlocked special features. Assist mode, challenge mode, and exclusive areas became available once certain milestones were achieved. By sharing keys with others, trainers could customize their playstyle, making the region's adventure more flexible and collaborative than before. The Pokémon World Tournament in Driftvale City was said to be funded by gym leader Clay. His entrepreneurial spirit expanded beyond mining, creating a stage where trainers worldwide could gather. This lore detail connected Clay's character to Unova's broader story, framing him as both a businessman and a contributor to Pokémon history. Reversal Mountain offered two different atmospheres depending on version. In Pokémon Black 2, the caves burned with magma, while in White 2, they glowed with soft, steamy mist. These contrasts gave the location a shifting identity, showing how even the same mountain could feel dramatically different depending on perspective. The Nature Preserve rewarded players who completed the Pokédex with a beautiful hidden area. Lush greenery and calm scenery framed a special encounter with a shiny Haxorus. This rare gift symbolized dedication and patience, serving as a quiet thank you for those who took the time to explore every corner of Unova. Seaside Cave and the Plasma Frigate introduced rare dive moments in Black 2 and White 2. Although brief, these underwater sequences added depth to the adventure. The sense of submerging beneath Unova's waves gave players a moment of calm exploration before surfacing again into the intensity of the main story. Unova's many bridges became landmarks in themselves. Sky Arrow, Driftvale, Marvelous, Tubeline, and Village Bridge each offered more than just passage. They held events, ambiance, or unique scenery. Crossing them felt like miniature chapters in the journey, blending architecture and storytelling into the very roads that connected Unova's bustling cities and quiet towns. Marvelous Bridge stood out with its subtle charm. Among its views and passing trainers, players could meet a suspicious salesman offering a Magikarp, an intentional throwback to earlier generations. This humorous nod tied Unova's modern design back to Pokemon's classic quirks, showing that some traditions never quite fade. Village Bridge carried more than footsteps. It layered ambient sounds into daily life. Players could hear cooking, soft humming, and even guitar strumming from locals, making the town feel alive. This blending of audio and setting created a warm, memorable atmosphere that made Village Bridge a peaceful gem in Unova. In Castelia City, the Game Freak studio gave out a special Zorua. Originally an event-only gift in black and white, it became obtainable in black 2 and white 2 through in-game means. This fox-like trickster reflected Unova's creativity, offering players a rare partner tied closely to the region's identity. Zoroark, the evolved form of Zorua, starred heavily in Generation 5's marketing. Its illusion ability captured imaginations, while a dedicated tie-in film emphasized its mysterious role. As one of the first Unova Pokémon revealed, Zoroark's spotlights set the stage for the region's themes of deception, legend, and cinematic storytelling. Relic Castle lay buried beneath the desert resort, filled with Yamask and the remains of ancient lore. Collapsing sand and hidden chambers created an atmosphere of fragility and history. This ruin told silent stories of civilizations past, adding mystery to Unova's deserts and depth to its ghostly Pokémon lines. Mistrelton Cave required strength to navigate and dust clouds to clear, but patient explorers found Cobalion waiting deep within. This legendary encounter reflected the theme of perseverance, overcoming obstacles both physical and symbolic to prove worthiness. Its secluded location turned the cave into a place of quiet challenge and reward. The Swords of Justice, Cobalion, Terrakion, and Verishian, were scattered across Unova. Inspired by legendary protectors, they each acted as teachers of resolve and guardians of balance. Their presence reminded players of courage, sacrifice, and unity, values embedded deeply in Unova's mythos. Their wandering placement made meeting them feel like moments of destiny. Kyurem slumbered within the frozen depths of Giant Chasm, anchoring Black 2 and White 2's central fusion story. Through DNA splicers, it combined with Reshiram or Zekrom, becoming Black Kyurem or White Kyurem. This chilling lore of an incomplete dragon tied directly to Unova's deepest myths of separation, balance, and reunion. Reshiram and Zekrom, Unova's paired legends, embodied truth and ideals. Their rivalry symbolized humanity's struggle between vision and reality, dreams and honesty. Players were asked to consider which path felt right, and through their journeys, these dragons reflected the eternal balance of belief that guided Unova's story. The abyssal ruins, hidden deep beneath Undella Bay, formed a mysterious underwater maze. Inside, players discovered relic plates, ancient currency, and forgotten treasures that could be sold for great value. Exploring these ruins felt otherworldly, as eerie silence and timed dives created an atmosphere of history preserved beneath the sea. Undella Town's coastal mansions stood as symbols of luxury. Inside, wealthy trainers awaited daily rematches, offering generous prize money. These battles contrasted with Unova's humbler roots, reinforcing the sense of Unova as a region of variety, where quiet villages and opulent retreats existed side by side. Isiris City's surrounding swamps changed with the seasons. In spring, floods opened new, watery paths for exploration, while in winter, snow covered the terrain, creating alternate routes. This seasonal rhythm gave Isiris a living quality, making each return visit feel fresh, shaped by the passing of time. Route 4 told two stories, depending on the game version. In Black, construction dominated the area, filled with cranes and half-built structures. In White, shifting sands preserved ancient ruins. These contrasts highlighted Unova's dual themes, modern development in one tale, timeless history in the other, giving players distinct perspectives through each playthrough. Castalia City's many docks could feel overwhelming, so locals gave them nicknames like Thumb Pier to help travelers navigate. These playful details grounded the city in realism, as if residents had their own shorthand for daily life, adding warmth and character to its towering urban landscape. The Royal Unova cruise ship followed a nightly schedule, offering timed battles at sea. Beyond the trainer encounters, its real charm came from the ritual of returning each evening. Watching Castalia's skyline drift into twilight became a quiet post-game routine, both practical for experience and soothing for the atmosphere. Driftvale's bustling market sold delicacies, fossils, and rare items on rotation. Visiting each day became a small tradition for players, with the excitement of discovering what might be available. This ever-changing selection reflected Driftvale's role as a hub of trade, grounding the city in everyday economic life. Lentimus Town was a small volcanic settlement introduced in Black 2 and White 2. Uniquely, players arrived here by jet plane, flown directly from Mistralton's cargo line. This detail reinforced Unova's modern feel, as if travel by air was seamlessly woven into the region's adventurous yet everyday rhythm. Reversal Mountain housed Heatran as a post-game encounter in Black 2 and White 2. Its cavernous interior glowed with fiery energy, creating a dramatic setting for the legendary's appearance. This addition gave the region another layer of myth, rewarding persistent explorers with one of Sinnoh's most iconic fire-dwelling Pokémon. Clay Tunnel physically linked Driftvale City to the underground ruins in Black 2 and White 2. Carved as a literal passage through the land, it tied together multiple areas of exploration. This design reinforced Unova's interconnectedness, where routes, towns, and hidden places weren't isolated, but part of a greater whole. Striaton City's gym stood out by offering 3 leaders instead of 1. Chili, Cress, and Ceylon each specialized in a different type: fire, water, and grass. The one who challenged you was chosen specifically to counter your starter, making this first gym a gentle but clever test of adaptability right from the beginning. In Black 2 and White 2, Charon transitioned from rival to gym leader. Now found in Espertia, your new hometown, he specialized in normal types. His growth showed how characters evolve alongside players, embodying Unova's theme of change. Charon's gym gave the sequels a grounded, familiar, and comforting start. Roxy's gym in Burbank pulsed with the energy of live music. Her poison types battled against a backdrop of garage band sound, guitars buzzing while trainers cheered. This unique setup combined battle and performance, giving Roxy's stage an unforgettable personality and cementing her as one of Unova's most distinctive new leaders. Colress emerged as a central figure in Black 2 and White 2, replacing Bryson's role in prominence. A scientist above all else, his fascination with the potential of Pokémon placed him within Team Plasma, though his motives were more curious than malicious. His calm intellect added nuance to the otherwise sharp divisions of Unova's villains. Team Plasma fractured after the events of Black and White. One faction followed N's ideals, genuinely believing in coexistence, while the other clung to Ghetsis' harsh vision of dominance. This split highlighted the complexity of Unova's story, where even villains struggled with philosophy and morality beyond simple good and evil. The plasma frigate was a moving fortress that appeared and disappeared across Unova. Its sudden arrivals forced players to adapt, while its departures left behind questions and mystery. The ship itself became a character, an ominous presence that demanded attention and challenged your memory of the region's map. Zinzolin, one of Team Plasma's sages, developed an icy fixation that matched his chosen Pokémon. His personality foreshadowed the frigate's later freezing attacks, where entire towns and landscapes were locked in ice. This chilling theme reinforced Plasma's growing menace, while adding eerie flair to the organization's designs. After Ghetsis was unmasked, several sages, including Rude, explored paths of redemption. Some questioned their loyalties, while others sought to right their wrongs by assisting the player. Their arcs reflected Unova's ongoing theme, that even those who stray can learn, grow, and change when truth and ideals are brought into focus. One of N's most memorable moments unfolded quietly at Nimbasa's Ferris wheel. Sharing the ride, he revealed his philosophy, speaking gently about his worldview. The scene stood apart from traditional battles, offering a rare moment of stillness and vulnerability, deepening his character and his bond with the player. In Nimbasa's stadiums, daily rematches refreshed the adventure. Trainers cycled through double battles, creating new challenges while adding the sense of an ever-busy arena. These sports-themed venues tied Pokémon battling to community entertainment, turning routine training into something more engaging, while reminding players that Unova thrived with constant activity. Black and White's soundtrack was especially experimental, blending percussion and even diegetic audio into the music. Village Bridge became the standout, layering in vocals from non-player characters who hummed or sang when approached. This approach made Unova feel alive, as if the world itself was singing softly in harmony with your journey. Opelucid City's theme differed by version. In Pokémon Black, futuristic synths created an electronic, forward-looking soundscape. In Pokémon White, traditional strings gave the city a grounded, historical feeling. The duality in design and music mirrored Unova's central themes. Two perspectives of time, one modern, one traditional, interwoven into the same world. Gym battle themes in Unova added new layers of flavor. Elisa's runway stage blended clapping and beats, while other gyms layered sound effects that tied directly into their atmosphere. This subtle addition reinforced the individuality of each leader, turning battles into more than combat. They became performances reflecting each gym's personality. The battle subway in Nimbasa carried forward the long tradition of battle facilities. Trainers could engage in single, double, or multi-battle formats, climbing through endless rounds to test their skill. Its rhythm, combined with the sense of travel, gave it a steady calm, like a moving stage where challenge and routine blended together. Black Tower in Black 2 and White Tree Hollow in White 2 offered version-exclusive dungeons. These long, endurance-based challenges stretched across multiple floors, testing patience and planning. Their mirrored concepts, tower versus forest, emphasized the duality between the versions once again, making each path feel like its own test of persistence. Pokémon musicals replaced Hoenn's contests in Black and White. Instead of appeal scores, performances were about dressing Pokémon in accessories and showcasing personality. Though simpler, they carried a sense of charm and lighthearted expression, allowing players to focus on companionship and creativity rather than competition. PokeStar Studios in Black 2 and White 2 expanded the performance concept into staged battles. Here, trainers followed scripts with branching paths and endings, acting out roles in short films. This blend of battling and storytelling gave Pokémon a playful theatricality, turning strategy into art while rewarding experimentation and imagination. The Medal Rally system encouraged players to complete quirky challenges across Unova. From trading spins to battling legendary Pokémon, these medals rewarded exploration and creativity. They served as gentle nudges, turning small, playful achievements into lasting memories and adding variety to even the quietest moments of gameplay. The X-Transceiver introduced a new way for characters to communicate with players. Short video calls and skits added charm, showing trainers in their daily lives. These light moments brought personality to rivals and companions, making the adventure feel less like a series of battles and more like a connected journey among friends. Unity Tower, accessible after global trade station exchanges, became a quiet monument to worldwide connection. Inside, players could see the countries they had traded with was represented as floors of the tower. It was a peaceful reminder that Pokémon was more than a game. It was a bridge across cultures and distance. The global trade station returned in Unova, but now integrated into the Pokémon Center network. This seamless design simplified access, letting players trade worldwide directly from familiar hubs. By blending global connection with everyday healing stops, the feature underscored Unova's modern theme of a world more connected than ever. Pokémon Centers in Unova fully combined healing services with Pokémarts under one roof. No longer did players need to travel between two separate buildings. This small but thoughtful change streamlined the journey, making each visit faster and more comfortable. It was a subtle reflection of the region's focus on convenience and modernization. Unova's season system extended beyond on visuals to gameplay. Certain berries and seasonal items were only available during specific times of year, quietly encouraging players to return throughout all 4 seasons. These details made the world feel alive, as if it kept breathing and shifting even while you weren't playing. The habitat list introduced in Black 2 and White 2 gave completionists a soothing way to track Pokémon encounters area by area. Instead of relying on memory or guides, players could simply open the list and see what was missing. This addition made Pokédex hunting a more relaxed and rewarding experience. The Metal Box system gamified everyday habits across Unova. From simple actions like flying or shopping to consistent activities like biking, medals rewarded the ordinary with a sense of achievement. For many, collecting them became a calming side goal, gentle reminders that every small step in the journey was worth celebrating. Hidden abilities arrived via the Dream World, breathing new life into Unova species. Pokémon like Gliscor and Breloom gained new competitive roles, shifting how teams were built. These abilities emphasized creativity and discovery, showing that even familiar Pokémon could reveal new potential when given the right conditions and strategies. Among the most famous Dream World releases were Espeon with Magic Bounce and Politoed with Drizzle. Both changed the competitive landscape, reflecting how subtle ability tweaks could ripple through entire metagames. These small gifts from Unova's dream world became legendary in shaping early Generation 5 battles. Weather Wars defined Generation V's competitive play. Sandstorm from Tyranitar and Hippowdon, Drizzle Rain from Politoed, and Drought Sun from Ninetales created a constant struggle for weather dominance. These shifting skies shaped every battle's flow until later generations eventually rebalanced permanent weather into temporary effects. Black and White leaned heavily on stylish move animations. Speed lines, layered sprites, and bold flashes added flair to each attack. Even on Nintendo DSS hardware, these animations carried a sense of energy and motion that made every battle feel alive and intense, without overwhelming the handheld's limitations. Unova's roots embraced multi-height designs for extra depth. Castalia sewers featured layered catwalks above flowing water, while sky ramps along bridges created vertical variation. These touches gave the impression of true three-dimensional space, enhancing the immersion of walking through a region alive with levels and perspectives. Unova's regional Pokédex was unique in Black and White. It featured only brand new Pokémon until the postgame. This bold choice meant you couldn't rely on old favorites, forcing every trainer to discover and bond with unfamiliar species. It heightened the sense of novelty, as if you were truly stepping into an uncharted world. Emolga offered delightful surprise encounters by swooping down from the skies over certain routes. Instead of appearing in tall grass like most Pokémon, it glided into view, making the moment feel special. These sky shadow encounters reinforced Emolga's lively, mischievous personality, while breaking the traditional mold of how wild Pokémon could appear. Deerling and its evolution, Sawsbuck, reflected Unova's seasonal theme more vividly than any other species. Their forms shifted with the time of year: spring blossoms, summer leaves, autumn orange, and winter snow. This changing design made them living symbols of the region's cycles, gentle reminders that Unova itself was always in motion. Route 7, a stretch exposed to seasonal weather, changed subtly with snow. In winter, paths were covered, altering shortcuts and reshaping ledges. The way snow transformed gameplay highlighted how Unova's seasons weren't just visual, they directly touched your journey, reminding you to adapt to the rhythms of nature along the way. Driftvale's cold storage added grit to the region's story. Stacked shipping containers, icy floors, and shadowed warehouses set a moody industrial tone. It became the stage for early clashes with Team Plasma, showing that battles weren't always fought in shining arenas. They could unfold in the quiet, cold corners of everyday life. Chargestone Cave mesmerized travelers with its floating stones, glowing blue light, and subtle magnetic pull. This mystical setting fit perfectly for electric and steel types, like Magneton, making it feel like a natural home. The cave's design evoked awe, reminding players that even ordinary pathways could carry a touch of wonder. Celestial Tower replaced the somberness of Kanto's Lavender Town with quiet reverence. Here, trainers honored their departed Pokémon by climbing a tall spire and ringing a great bell at the summit. The gentle ritual brought peace rather than fear, making remembrance feel less haunted and more like a shared, healing moment. Route 10 was a memorable climb toward the Pokemon League in black and white, lined with trainers and set against stirring music. But in Black 2 and White 2, the route was removed, changing how players approached the league. This absence made the original journey feel even more precious in hindsight. The Pokemon League plateau overlooked a waterfall valley, particularly beautiful under winter skies. Snow sparkled across the cliffs, while the rushing water below framed the grandeur of the league building itself. This view captured Unova's balance of natural beauty and human achievement, setting the perfect stage for your final challenge. The Relic Passage wound beneath Unova, connecting distant areas like Castelia Sewers and Relic Castle. These hidden shortcuts rewarded explorers with satisfaction, allowing new routes to open as progress was made. The passage added a layer of mystery to the region's design, making the act of backtracking feel fresh and rewarding. Trainer battles in Unova added new drama through zoom-ins and camera pans. Even on the Nintendo DS, the presentation felt unusually dynamic, making encounters feel more alive than ever. These subtle shifts in perspective heightened the intensity of every clash, turning even ordinary battles into cinematic moments on a handheld screen. Some NPC musicians along Unova's routes joined the background melodies when approached, layering instruments into the soundtrack. A flute, guitar, or drum might softly add to the traveling theme. This warm detail made journeys feel communal, as though the land itself welcomed you with its music, creating a sense of harmony as you walked. Route 23, introduced in Black 2 and White 2, served as a true final exam for players. Multi-level cliffs, waterfalls, and HM puzzles forced careful planning and map reading. This last stretch before Victory Road felt both challenging and meditative, guiding you to prove mastery over Unova's mechanics before facing the League. Humalau City's wooden boardwalks and coral reefs gave Unova a tranquil, tropical edge. The lapping waves, laid-back locals, and relaxed vibe contrasted with the region's bustling cities. Positioned near the end of the journey, Humalau embodied calm reflection, a peaceful pause before the story's dramatic finale. Giant Chasm created an eerie mood with shifting weather and rare encounters. Misty fog, snowfall, and unsettling music framed this ancient crater-like zone. Its atmosphere stood apart from the rest of Unova, feeling otherworldly and timeless. As the stage for Kyurem, it captured both awe and unease in equal measure. The Shadow Triad, Plasma's silent enforcers, moved like flickering silhouettes. Their sudden appearances and disappearances, paired with ninja-like grace, gave them an air of mystery. With lab coat designs blending science and stealth, they represented Plasma's secretive edge, slipping through the story as ghostly figures whose motives were never fully revealed. Colress's battle theme fused electronic bleeps with regal chords, embodying his dual nature as both scientist and strategist. The track balanced mechanical precision with dramatic flair, echoing Colress's obsession with unlocking Pokemon's potential. This unique soundtrack gave his battles an unmistakable presence, standing out among Unova's most memorable encounters. Among Unova's medals was heavy traffic, earned simply by passing through gates repeatedly. Though odd on the surface, the gentle repetition made the task oddly meditative. Each small trip through a gate echoed the rhythm of travel itself, rewarding patience and persistence in a quiet, reflective way. The Royal Unova cruise ship offered evening battles with a glowing sunset backdrop. Its golden palette and calm waters created the perfect sleepy, end-of-day mood. For many, it wasn't about winning battles. It was about enjoying the view, soaking in the gentle routine as the ship drifted under fading skies. Join Avenue in Black 2 and White 2 let players recruit NPCs to open shops. Shopkeepers greeted you with familiar slogans, and their cozy repetition quickly became part of nightly play. Visiting felt like walking through a small, living community, a place where even commerce had a rhythm of warmth and routine. Aspertia City, introduced in Black 2 and White 2, gave players their first true hometown skyline. Instead of a small village, you began in a bustling suburban city with tall buildings and a scenic overlook. It reflected Unova's modern themes, showing that your adventure could start not in simplicity, but in the heart of a living urban landscape. Alder, the champion of Unova, stood apart from other final challengers. Rather than cold ambition, he radiated warmth and encouragement, especially in the postgame. His philosophy contrasted sharply with Ghetsis' chilling manipulation, reminding players that strength in Pokémon comes from bonds of trust and kindness, not dominance. Alder's guidance embodied a mentor's gentle, reassuring presence. Benga, Alder's fiery-haired grandson, took the spotlight as the ultimate opponent in Black Tower and White Tree Hollow. His fierce spirit and challenging team made him a final hurdle even after the main story was complete. Through Benga, the family line of Alder continued the theme of passion and determination, pushing you to rise one last time. Move tutors in Black 2 and White 2 restored access to beloved coverage, moves like the elemental punches, as well as Draco Meteor and Heat Wave. These tutors quietly expanded competitive strategies and brought back fan-favorite tactics. For players, they were a welcome reminder of older generations, while deepening Unova's battling possibilities. Memory Link in BW2 offered cutscenes that tied directly back to Black and White. These moments fleshed out Charon, Bianca, and even N, showing their growth after the original story. By linking cartridges, players gained glimpses of closure and continuity, grounding Unova's sequel as not just another game, but a continuation of personal journeys. The Marine Tube, connecting Undella and Humalau, was a breathtaking underwater hallway. Silhouettes of Waylord and other sea life drifted outside its glass walls, making the player feel immersed in an aquarium. It wasn't a place for battles or items, just quiet beauty, one of the most serene moments Unova had to offer. The key system in BW2 added new flexibility. Unlocks included Black City and White Forest, version-exclusive areas that could now be shared across different cartridges. By linking games, players could enjoy opposite features, extending replay value while reinforcing the theme of duality between Black and White. Hidden grottos scattered across Unova contained special treasures, items, rare encounters, and most importantly, Pokémon with guaranteed hidden abilities. For competitive players, these grottos became golden opportunities. Each discovery felt like uncovering a secret tucked into the natural world, blending exploration with the thrill of unlocking hidden potential. In snowy seasons, as near Asira City, items became partially hidden under drifts of snow. Small glints in the white, hinted at their locations. This subtle design rewarded observant players while reinforcing the seasonal system, turning a simple search for items into a playful moment of discovery amid the winter calm. Unova's bridges often carried quirky secrets. On one, you might meet a man juggling wings, not literally in animation, but in dialogue, adding a whimsical flavor to your journey. These oddities filled the region with personality, small touches that made even a long bridge crossing into something worth slowing down to notice. Unova's mythology tells of a single great dragon that once served two princes. When they quarreled, the dragon split into Reshiram, embodying truth, and Zekrom, embodying ideals. The empty shell left behind became Kyurem. This legend framed the region's story, weaving morality and balance into the very heart of its lore. Kyurem's power deepened in Black 2 and White 2 with the DNA splicers. Using this item, it could fuse with Reshiram to become White Kyurem, or with Zekrom to become Black Kyurem. These fusion forms symbolized attempts to restore the original dragon, though never perfectly, leaving Kyurem an eternal reminder of incompleteness. The Swords of Justice, Cobelian, Terrakion, Virizion, and Keldeo, were inspired by the Three Musketeers. Each represented values like leadership, strength, and compassion, while Keldeo played the role of the young trainee who grows into greatness. Their bond echoed themes of loyalty and camaraderie, aligning perfectly with Unova's emphasis on relationships and ideals. Unova also introduced Tornadus, Thunderus, and Landorus, a weather-based trio whose powers shaped storms, rain, and fertile land. Later, their Therian forms gave them more animalistic, mythic shapes. Together, they represented the raw forces of nature, chaotic yet necessary, reminding trainers of the delicate balance between humanity and the natural world. Virizion, dwelling in quiet forest glades, and Cobelian, hidden within rugged caverns, were placed in locations that felt carefully chosen. Their serene environments invited players to slow down, listen to the music, and appreciate the peaceful discovery. These legendaries blended seamlessly into their habitats, making the encounter feel earned rather than forced. Heatran returned to Unova in Black 2 and White 2, tucked deep within Reversal Mountain. With the Magma Stone, players could awaken this fiery titan. Its presence linked Unova back to Sinnoh, reminding fans that legends echo across regions, sometimes reappearing in new lands, as if to keep old stories alive. Regigigas, the colossal Pokémon said to move continents, appeared in Unova too. In Black and White, it could be found in Twist Mountain during the snowy winter season, while Black 2 and White 2 offered alternate side events. Its return tied Unova's myths into the wider legendary fabric of the Pokémon world. Latios and Latias, the Eon twins of Hoenn, became event roamers in Black 2 and White 2. Their addition to Unova's postgame highlighted the series' interconnected nature. Encountering them felt like welcoming old friends into new territory, bridging regions, and reminding players of Pokémon's ever-expanding, interconnected world of legends. Meloetta, the mythical songstress, had a special ability to shift into pirouette form by using Relic Song. This elegant transformation wove music directly into gameplay, as if battles themselves could be a performance. Meloetta embodied both art and combat, its melodies resonating as gentle reminders of Pokémon's softer, more expressive side. Genesect was another mythical tied to science. Revived and modified by Team Plasma, it stood as a dark mirror to fossil restoration. Instead of preserving history, Plasma weaponized it. With its sleek design and adjustable drives, Genesect felt both futuristic and ancient, a reminder of how easily technology could distort nature's gifts. Driftvale's bustling market owes its existence to Clay's mining empire. His industry not only made him wealthy, but also lifted the entire city into prosperity. The stalls, filled with rare goods, exotic imports, and local specialties, stand as reminders of how one leader's enterprise shaped Driftvale into Unova's most industrious hub. Elisa returned in Black 2 and White 2 with a striking redesign. Her glamorous model attire gave way to a more practical, stylish look, symbolizing her career transition from fashion spotlight to focused gym leader. The change reflected her growth while maintaining her dazzling charm, showing how even Unova's stars could evolve over time. Berg's Castalia Gym doubled as a living art gallery. His seasonal art installations shifted as time passed, mirroring the organic changes of the city itself. This evolving creativity reinforced Castalia's identity as a cultural center where beauty wasn't static but constantly refreshed, just like the journey of Pokémon itself. Lenora, once the normal type gym leader in Black and White, stepped aside in Black 2 and White 2. She devoted herself fully to running the Nakreen Museum, curating history and artifacts. Her shift in role felt natural, reflecting her passion for learning and preservation rather than competition, adding depth to her character. Bryson, after retiring from gym leadership, found a new career in Pokestar Studios. As an action film actor, he humorously crossed from battling into entertainment. His transition reflected Unova's playful side, showing that even seasoned trainers could reinvent themselves, stepping from icy arenas into the bright lights of the silver screen. Bianca's story blossomed in Black 2 and White 2 as she became Professor Juniper's assistant. From her earlier uncertainty, she grew into a confident mentor who guided you on your journey. Her arc showed satisfying growth, turning her from rival to role model, proof that gentle perseverance leads to purpose. Charon, once your rival, assumed the role of Vespertia City's normal-type gym leader and teacher. His classroom-style gym subtly doubled as a tutorial space, helping new players learn the basics of battling. Through this change, Charon embodied responsibility and patience, grounding his competitive edge in a new role of guidance. The X-Transceiver in Unova carried charming side stories, characters called in with light-hearted skits, small jokes, or friendly check-ins. These moments didn't alter the main adventure, but they softened its edges, adding warmth and familiarity. They reminded you that even between battles, relationships, and gentle laughter had a place in your journey. Metal NPCs appeared in Pokemon Centers to reward your progress. Their congratulations came with a friendly tone, almost like recognition from a quiet friend. These recurring visits created soft, supportive loops, where even the smallest accomplishments were noticed and celebrated, reinforcing a sense of comfort as you traveled across the region. Hidden grottos across Unova worked on daily respawn timers. Players often checked in briefly each day, hoping for items or rare hidden ability Pokemon. This gentle routine encouraged steady, relaxed play rather than long grinding sessions, blending discovery into everyday life and making exploration feel like a soothing ritual. Marvelous Bridge carried a small, haunting detail: a girl who appears briefly and mentions a lunar wing, tying directly into Chrysalia's myth. This fleeting encounter blended mystery with legend, turning an ordinary crossing into something dreamlike. The bridge became more than a path. It was a quiet brush with Unova's folklore. In Undella Town, the Riches family's mansion bustled with opulence in black and white. By Black 2 and White 2, the family had moved out, leaving the area quieter. This subtle change gave the sense that time had truly passed in Unova, adding a rare feeling of continuity between games. The abyssal ruins beneath Undella Bay offered a slow, calm puzzle. Limited steps and strong currents required careful planning to reach treasures hidden deep within. Strange relic plates and cryptic writing reinforced an ancient mystery, rewarding patience. The ruins' quiet underwater atmosphere gave exploration a meditative, almost timeless feeling. Route 1's beach in Black 2 and White 2 added a summery touch to your earliest steps. The soft waves and sandy shore made the first wild encounters feel refreshing, like beginning a morning walk. It gently reintroduced players to the adventure, proving that even familiar routes could feel brand new. Nimbasa's big stadium and small court rotated their themes daily, featuring different sports like baseball or soccer. Trainers within changed depending on the day, encouraging return visits. These lively venues added energy to the city, blending everyday culture with Pokémon training, while giving players a fun, repeatable place to test their skills. Gear Station agents, stationed at the Battle Subway, fully embraced the role of train conductors. Their phrasing mimicked real railway announcements, complete with formal tones and structured dialogue. This attention to detail gave the subway more authenticity, making each battle feel like part of a grand, endless train journey across Unova. The subway bosses, Ingo and Emmett, became fan favorites with their short, curt dialogue and mirrored personalities. Their stern charm and stylish uniforms left a lasting impression. Over time, they grew into icons beyond Unova, remembered as symbols of strategy, discipline, and the quiet bonds formed on the endless rails. In towns across Unova, statues of deer would subtly change with the seasons, mirroring Sawsbuck's shifting forms. These gentle details reinforced the idea that the entire region responded to seasonal cycles. The statues, though small, served as visual anchors to Unova's unique living calendar, bringing continuity to each passing season. Striaton Gym doubled as a cozy restaurant, tying the three leaders, Chili, Cress, and Ceylon, to food-themed names. The decor of tables, dishes, and menus blended hospitality with battle, making the gym feel warm and communal. This design captured Nova's playful creativity, turning even a first badge challenge into something memorable and thematic. The Ferris wheel in Nimbasa City wasn't just scenery. Its riders changed depending on the day or the story's progression, offering unique interactions. From friends to strangers, and even N himself, each ride revealed small moments of character depth. The gentle spin of the wheel became a stage for quiet reflection. In Black 2 and White 2, Plasma Sage Rude seeks redemption by giving you a Zorua. This small gesture contrasts sharply with Plasma's darker deeds, symbolizing healing and forgiveness. The gift of a Pokemon once tied to deception becomes an offering of trust, showing that even villains can turn toward atonement. The Plasma Frigate escalates its menace in BW2 with an ice cannon powerful enough to freeze all of Opelucid City. This dramatic moment raised the stakes of the story, blanketing an entire metropolis in ice. The chilling sight wasn't just spectacle, it was a reminder of how far unchecked ambition could go in reshaping the world. Ghetsis' ultimate plan pushes beyond domination. Using Kyurem's hollow power, he schemes to erase what he deems imperfections from existence. This chilling idea turns him into one of Pokemon's most dangerous villains, not simply seeking control, but striving to rewrite reality itself. The cold cruelty of his vision gave Unova's climax rare weight. Colress, unlike Ghetsis, remains fascinated only by Pokemon strength and the science to unlock it. His neutrality is unsettling, neither good nor evil, just curious. Though not malicious by intent, his detached pursuit makes him dangerous. Colress embodies the double-edged nature of discovery, where progress without empathy risks leading into destructive paths. N's choice of dragon in the final encounter depends on your version. In Pokemon Black, he fights with Zekrom. In White, with Reshiram. This mirroring reinforced the duality of truth and ideals, tailoring the story to each game. The symmetry of your clash with N made the ending deeply personal. In the postgame, Move Tutors reintroduced forgotten techniques that weren't available in the base Black and White. Suddenly, niche sets came alive. Moves like Heat Wave or Superpower returned to shake up strategies. These tutors breathed new life into competitive play, giving longtime favorites fresh options and new reasons to be explored. The habitat list in BW2 wasn't just practical, it was quietly satisfying. Each time you completed an area's list, the game chimed softly, rewarding your persistence. These small sounds acted like gentle affirmations, little bursts of joy for collectors who sought completion, making exploration feel like a calming, ongoing ritual. On Village Bridge, street musicians would gradually join in as you spoke to them. A guitarist, a singer, a cook humming, each layered their sound into the background track. This subtle buildup transformed the bridge into a living stage, where community and music blended seamlessly into the player's journey. The marine tube, already peaceful, offered a rare glimpse of a waylord drifting outside its glass walls. Lingering just long enough rewarded players with this calming sight. The moment felt like discovering a secret in plain view, a quiet treasure reminding you to slow down and simply observe the world. The Royal Unova ended its timed evening battles with a long, echoing horn as the sun set. This gentle ritual signaled not only the ship's closing journey, but also the day's end for the player. The blend of combat, sunset, and closure gave the cruise an almost meditative rhythm, perfect for winding down. The battle subway offered super multi-battles, letting you team up with a friend or an AI partner for extended streaks. These long cooperative runs tested endurance and strategy, encouraging trust between teammates. Even when playing with the AI, the shared experience made each battle feel less lonely, adding a touch of companionship to the grind. When N releases his Pokemon after the main story, some of them may join your journey. Uniquely, they keep his trainer tag, preserving the lore of where they came from. This small detail reminds you that these Pokemon aren't just generic encounters. They carry N's history, making them living symbols of his ideals and growth. Unova's seasonal system touched more than visuals. Certain items and NPCs were available only during specific in-game months. This created a gentle rhythm to the world, encouraging players to return at different times to see what had changed. The cycle gave each season a fresh charm, blending gameplay with nature's passage. Tubaline Bridge occasionally hosted a rowdy biker gang, but only during certain seasons and times of day. Their sporadic appearances turned the massive bridge into more than a simple crossing. This subtle scheduling gave the landmark character, reminding players that Unova's world moved on its own clock, not always at your convenience. The X-Transceiver, Beyond Calls, included a doodle app in local multiplayer. Players could scribble mid-call, drawing little sketches and notes to share in real time. Though playful and simple, it added warmth to the device, letting communication feel more personal, like passing notes back and forth in a notebook with a friend. Join Avenue in Black 2 and White 2 offered a range of shop types, from dojos to cafes and marts, each specialized in benefits like raising EVAS, boosting happiness, or offering rare items. Over time, the avenue grew into a personalized street, its shopkeepers greeting you daily, turning management into a cozy routine. Hidden grottos in Unova weren't limited to Pokémon. Sometimes they yielded rare TMS, or valuable evolutionary stones, making each discovery a little surprise. The uncertainty kept players checking back, blending exploration with anticipation. Whether it was a coveted item or a unique Pokémon, every grotto felt like uncovering a secret nook in nature. The Pokémon World Tournament included special type expert cups, where trainers focused exclusively on a single Pokémon type. These tournaments demanded tailored strategies, inviting you to test yourself against concentrated challenges. They felt like mini labs of competitive design, letting players explore tight matchups in a focused, satisfying way. One of the highlights of the Pokémon World Tournament was the World Leaders Cup. Here, past champions and gym leaders like Blue, Cynthia, and Steven returned. Battling these icons side by side gave Unova's postgame a celebratory air, connecting the generations into one stage and rewarding longtime fans with nostalgic encounters. The key system in Black 2 and White 2 allowed players to swap Black City and White Forest between versions when shared. This feature highlighted connectivity, encouraging cooperation between friends. By linking games, players could experience both exclusive areas, reinforcing the theme of Unova's duality and the bonds formed through sharing. Memory Link in Black 2 and White 2 added touching scenes like a heartwarming story, which gave closure to arcs from the first games. These gentle flashbacks showed how characters continued to grow, offering small but meaningful glimpses of their lives after the credits rolled. They were quiet nods to continuity, grounding Unova's sequel in heartfelt connections. Aspertia City's lookout point provided one of the first sweeping views in Pokémon. From its cliffside, you could see distant forests and routes, emphasizing Unova's scale. This early perspective gave players a sense of journey, waiting ahead, making the world feel larger than ever before. It was both grounding and inspiring, a perfect starting vista. Roxy's father, initially portrayed as distracted by his dream of playing in a band, eventually becomes a ship captain. This small but meaningful character growth showed how even side characters evolved in Unova. His transition reflected themes of responsibility, giving a satisfying arc tucked within Burbank's coastal storyline. Burbank City's industrial coastline carried an atmosphere of foghorns and harbor sounds, especially at night. The mechanical hums and distant calls gave the city texture, blending music with environment. The effect was immersive and calming, making Burbank feel lived in, its rhythm echoing both the grit of industry and the softness of seaside life. Lentimas town, nestled against volcanic lava fields, felt like Unova's subtle nod to Hoenn's fiery landscapes. Though small, its warm palette and surrounding terrain stood apart from the rest of the region. The town's existence expanded Unova's diversity, reminding players that even in familiar regions, there can be pockets of unusual wonder. Route 4 evolved between games. In black and white, sandstorms raged while construction dominated the landscape. By Black 2 and White 2, the city was completed, and the storms had calmed. This change symbolized progress, showing a world that didn't stand still but developed over time, rewarding players who returned to see it anew. Driftvale's gym, themed around elevators and lift platforms, returned in BW2 with a fresh remix of its iconic theme. The combination of vertical puzzles and updated music maintained its industrial charm while refreshing the experience. For players, it felt like revisiting an old landmark, only to find it subtly renewed. Opelucid City, frozen solid by Team Plasma's frigate in Black 2 and White 2, eventually thawed after the story's climax. Walking through its restored streets gave a sense of relief and renewal, reminding players that damage in the Pokémon world could be healed. The thaw symbolized hope returning after hardship. N could be rematched in a post-game setting, surrounded by nature, a perfect backdrop for his ideals. For him, battles weren't contests of dominance, but conversations with Pokémon. This final encounter preserved his philosophy, letting players experience a duel framed less by victory and more by mutual understanding. Unova's very design, bridges spanning vast waters, seasons shifting with time, music woven with ambient life, made the act of travel itself into a lullaby. Walking its roads felt rhythmic, soothing, and alive, a blend of journey and gentle meditation. Even in its challenges, the region carried a quiet beauty. And with that, we've reached the end of our journey through Unova's stories, secrets, and memories. I hope these gentle facts have helped your mind slow down and given you a little peace as you drift off tonight. If you've enjoyed this, please consider subscribing. It truly helps this channel grow and allows me to bring you more calm Pokémon journeys to relax with. And if you're still awake, don't worry. Sometimes it takes just a little longer to settle. On your screen now, you'll find another video waiting for you. Let it play softly in the background and let the steady rhythm of stories carry you the rest of the way into sleep. Sweet dreams, trainer.